All right, Vetter. So I stayed up really late last night. I barely got any sleep to watch the full, almost 3 hour Jake Barber interview on Newsnation that Ross Coulthart hosted. And I've got a few clips to show you. I'm going to have to break this down into a few videos because it's a lot to take in. A lot was said. But I think I've got some stuff to show y'all. So to start off with, two clips that I found probably to be the most interesting out of all of it, right? So let me play you the first clip here and see what you think, because Jake Barber is claiming that disclosure is coming this year. The disclosure we think about, right? The global acknowledgement that NHI are here, have been here. We have craft bodies. They're interacting with us, the whole nine. He is predicting that this year it is coming.
Yeah, this is why I know disclosure is coming. And guess what? It's going to come out in the most beautiful way. I believe the United States government in the next 12 months is going to use me and my team as a peaceful, non-judgmental path forward to disclosure. They're going to help us conduct our operations and gather evidence in order to present this subject matter to the public so that these questions can be answered once and for all. And all the questions. I'm talking about, what do the craft look like? How do they operate? Who is operating them? How are they being operated? And where are they coming from? We should be able to answer those questions probably entirely in the next 12 months.
All right, so there you go, in the next 12 months, right? And look, to be fair, I'm not really a fan of predictions, but he is saying, I believe that this will happen. And I think, just to be fair, to play both sides of the coin, you have people that say, I don't think disclosure's coming at all this year. So it's kind of the same thing. It's just the other side of the coin. Now, I would caution him on that, because if that doesn't happen, people are going to be livid, even though there's a caveat there that he's kind of giving him giving himself a way out there. But all right, look, we'll wait and see, right? At the end of the day, he's making a lot of promises, and we'll have to deliver, right? And what he's talking about is him and his team, right? It's this thing called Skywatcher that he has, where he's working with the team, and he's supposedly working with the government already. Like, that's already happening. So, again, we'll wait and see, right, what happens if this happens. And if that does, what do you want me to say? I absolutely will, support that if that is what actually happens. Right, but if it doesn't, where do we go from there? Right. Now, why do I think Jake is saying some of this, right? In particular, take a look at this next clip that I'm going to show you, because he talks about a meeting that came together that sounds something like Bohemian Grove. Well, sort of, not exactly, but in the sense that just this meeting of very highly influential people coming together to discuss this matter. Take a listen.
There was a gathering at Eslem.
Okay.
And a lot of very high net worth individuals who were interested in suppression of non-human intelligence attended. What happened?
I think something epic happened. I think something happened that, if it was fully documented and understood, would go in the history books.
I had a feeling last week that was historical.
It felt absolutely historic. What you had was a combination of the world's leading, like most frontier scientists. You had people that were top experts in all their fields. And then you had a variety of fields that was outrageous. We had neurosurgeons, doctors in neurosurgery. We had physicists. We had high net worth individuals in the billions that were extremely open-minded and had a frontier attitude towards all this. We had mystics. We had psychic kids. We had children from Germany that could harness and actually showcase their ability to perform telekinesis, their ability to psychically see things with their mind, and were able to prove that to all of us. We also deployed some of our psionic assets that we've used and are part of our new team with Skywatcher, and we summoned UAP. we had the UAP come and fly around and visit and hang out with us and take off.
And I have to say, I saw it too.
Yeah.
And it was profound.
All right, so you basically had a meeting of the minds, maybe, if you will. Again, this sort of the top elite mystics, children, psychic kids, scientists, right, billionaires, and kids from Germany who could perform telekinesis, right? That is actually being able to move objects with your mind, right? And he's saying that they showcased that there, and everyone saw it and believed it. So this is opening up all kinds of doors, right? That's going to have to be scientifically proven, lab tested, peer reviewed, and put out. Otherwise, making statements like that aren't going to hold any water, if I'm being honest, right? More people than him in a scientific study are going to have to admit that and come out and say that that happened, right? To be honest. So, and he's saying he performed, right, with this group, being able to call UAP, and they came and flew around and hung out, as he said. You know, did they get the catering too? Like, guys, we got Stromboli down here. I don't know. I'm just making jokes. I'm not making fun of him. I'm just joking around here. But, and Ross said he witnessed that and it was profound. I don't know if Ross is talking about he was at that event or he was just he had witnessed what Skywatcher does, which is Jake Barber's thing, right? Separately. So I don't know about that, but, you know, that's probably why he thinks that disclosure in his mind will come in the next 12 months, right? Is because of this meeting and other things I think that give him, you know, optimism, right, about it. But if you listen to the rest of the interview, which I highly recommend, clearly there'll be a link in the description to go watch this thing. It's over 3 hours. Again, I will be making a few different highlight videos today to kind of cover different points that I thought were relevant. But at the end of the day, if you want to check it out, it's you know, the link's in the description. You can listen to the whole thing or watch the whole thing. And it's supposedly his entire interview, right? So, look, with that said, right, let me play a montage clip that someone online called Red Panda Koala. Shout out to Red Panda for putting this together. I'll put a link in the description to his Twitter so you can go follow that. He's put up a bunch of different clips, and he covers the UAP topic like crazy. He's definitely someone you should follow if you just want to stay informed on Twitter about all the little nooks and crannies of the field. So, yeah, let me play this little highlight reel from last night's full Jake Barber interview, and then I'll see you on the other side.
I don't believe in the boogeyman. I am the boogeyman. Consciousness itself is how you interact and pilot the craft. There's an extreme amount of utility in our ability that has been suppressed. I'm on the very fingertips of this thing. There is a larger distribution of the predisposition amongst children and gay men. There's a reason it's called catastrophic disclosure. Gay men and kids and females are more often seen as having the predisposition for the psionic ability. That's what's being hidden, and that's what we're going to find out, and you can't bottle it up. You want to see stuff flying in the sky, you need to be channeling a loving energy. People like the President of the United States could be under mind control. The biological creatures inside are not conscious, but the craft is. We are not alone. Refer to it as a they in a very spiritual nature, something like angels, angels and demons. That object, or whatever was controlling that object, was also connecting to me through the mind. Once it was just me and that object, I felt like something was inside of me. I felt like I was possessed by the most beautiful spirit. Felt like the spirit of God, but not in any masculine sense. The last thing I'm going to do is go back and tell my team that I almost had to pop the load off because I was connected with a goddess that was making me cry. It's being hidden here is something extremely positive, and it's something we've all hoped. Yeah, it was the most beautiful experience I've had in my life.
Now, just to be fair to this entire thing, Again, I will be making some other videos covering different other aspects of that interview. And there's more interviews coming out from that Newsnation special with other veterans and people who, purportedly support Jake Barber and his story, and even a Gary Nolan interview, right? All the full interviews, basically. They use clips of it in that Saturday night special, right? It was an hour long, and it just covered a bunch of different stuff. So now they're just releasing all the interviews full, and I'll be trying to cover that as much as I can and get all the highlights over the next few days as these come out. But expect more videos about Jake Barber today, just later on. I'll definitely do 2 or 3 more videos highlighting different aspects of it. So anyway, I think it's also fair to just cover some skeptical side of things, right? Other people have been posting stuff that they're still a little skeptical about, even with this coming out. And Jake has welcomed other, taking questions and kind of, being scrutinized, right? He's welcomed it. So just to be fair, someone that I had on the show as a guest, his name is The Average Chris. I highly recommend that interview. I'll put a link in the description. But he put out a post that I'm showing right here. I'll put a link to that. You can go check it out. He is an Air Force veteran as well, and he currently works for the DoD as an intel analyst, right? And other people that I saw commenting on this, former Green Berets, definitely highly credentialed people that have a lot of questions about still Jake's history and what's going on, even after this longer interview. So I hope Jake's able to answer some of those questions down the line. Again, these are veterans questioning other veterans. I'm staying out of it. That's between them. And, if you're curious and want to look more into it, again, I'll put a link in the description. You can go check it out. But either way, the full link is up. Or the full video is up. Link in the description to Jake Barber's full 3-hour interview on Newsnation. And we'll see you on the next video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.